there was these two guys, two old farts, who had known each other for a long time, and both of their wives had died, and these guys were really into going out to see the baseball games together. They go out and sit in the bleachers, which of course there's no such thing anymore, and have a beer and watch the game. And one day they had this conversation. The one says to the other, he says, you know, one of these days, not too long from now, one of us is going to kick the bucket, you know. And I was wondering about this going to heaven business. He says, I was hoping you'd play baseball up there. And to tell you the truth, if they don't, I'm not sure if that's where I want to go. And so anyway, they make this deal with each other that when one of them dies, if he goes to heaven, he'll try and contact back with the other one and let him know the situation. And so some months later, yes, one of them dies. His friend puts him in the ground, and one day he's out at the ballpark by himself, drinking a beer, watching the game, and there comes this little tap on his shoulder. He looks around, there's nobody there. He says, Harry, is that you? And Harry says, yeah, it's me. He says, well, what happened? Did you go to heaven? He says, yeah, I went to heaven. He says, well, what's it like? He said, it ain't bad. And he says, well, what about the baseball? He says, well, I've got some good news and some other news. He says, the good news is, no problem. People playing baseball anytime they want. You can actually get in the game with some of the old timers. It's really great. He says, well, what's the other news? He says, well, you're pitching on Friday. and one more. I told you about how I wowed him in this pub with my one song. I also wowed him with this joke. This is my sort of favorite joke. I got it from listening to a radio program which was about creativity. And it's about this little girl who's in a drawing class. And all the kids are sitting, working on their drawings. And the teacher goes up to this one particular little girl and asks her what she's drawing. She says, I'm drawing a picture of God. And the teacher says, well, you know, nobody actually knows what God looks like. Kid says, they will in a minute.